It's Run DLC's world, and we're just living in it. Today on SB Baseball.
I like him. He's good at baseball.
It's good. And welcome to the SB Baseball Podcast, otherwise known as Have You Seen My Baseball? With your pals, Alan and Rapid Dave. I'm Alan.
I'm Rapid Dave.
How you doing, buddy?
Can I pause for a second?
Pause.
That's right, folks. It's All-Star break. It's middle of the summer. It's a summer classic. We are here. We're going to pop back beer from the oldest brewery in America.
Yes.
Yingling.
We got a couple of Yingers.
Cheers
regular
to you.
lager.
Yeah.
Cheers, mazel mazel, good things.
Yeah, we've been leaving this part of the show out. But figure
We're
we bring it
drinking
back.
out of the can.
It's summertime, baby. It's summertime.
But here we are. We just had the mid-season classic.
Oh, yes.
Right?
It's great. So much fun.
Or midsummer classic.
Midsummer,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
And there's a couple storylines I want to talk to you about this baseball season.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with the first one we're going to go with is very near and dear to your heart.
Oh.
As the host of the Ranger Roundup.
That's me?
That's you.
Oh, I'm terrified. Someone listened to the podcast the other day, too, and I'm listening to it right now, and I just cringe. I'm like, it's terrible. I'm so bad at it.
Can the Rangers hold on? They're 2 games ahead of the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
They're of their last 10, they're 3 of 7. They just lost a series against the Nationals.
Terrible.
Which was awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Right?
Yeah, they're last place Nationals.
They're playing awful baseball right now. They
terrible.
really are.
Yeah. The pitching
you
is not there.
had
The hitting, sometimes the hitting.
half the team was in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose a little bit of that break. Now, they're not playing the full game or anything like that, but
yeah.
You lose a little bit of that break, right?
It was fun to see him because on the field at one point in time, I think they had 6 players, which is the most since that's only happened 3 times in MLB history,
right?
Which was phenomenal. I thought it was great, and I watched it. Like I said,
too bad you couldn't pick them out because they were all wearing the same jersey.
Marcus Semien was at second.
I understand.
Corey Seager's at shortstop.
But I'm just saying they all looked alike because they're all wearing the same jersey. I miss the days where you wore your team uniform.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and when they have the batting helmets on that stupid N or A on top, it's so dumb. Just let them use their own helmets. It's so dumb. But back to your
digress.
Question. Back to your question.
Can the Rangers hold on? What are you expecting from them? Because the big thing is you lost a Grom, right?
Yeah.
And while you lost your ace, you lost one of your top guys. So now you're starting to bring other guys in. Then if someone else has to miss some time, like you had Gray had to miss a little bit of time because of a blister,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, right? Yeah. They did make a deal for Chapman. To shore up the bullpen, right?
Yeah, they did do that, but they still have my whole thing is with the Rangers right now is that the bullpen is what's causing a lot of these issues, right? A lot of these losses are held solely on the bullpen. Mid relief and relievers and closers, but Chapman coming in there throwing 102 in the 9th inning is definitely a plus. Once he gets his legs under him as a Texas Ranger, I think it's going to help out a lot. And if you face him in the postseason, you're going to have a lot of problems. But as far as pitching goes, yeah, we need to bring in one more pitcher, like one more ace, one solid. They did the same thing, I think, a couple years ago, or not a couple years back when they went back to back. Right? They brought in, I can't even think of his name.
Cliff Lee.
Lee. They brought in Lee.
Clee.
And when they brought Clee in, it shored up all just what they needed, right? And they made it all the way to the World Series in back-to-back years. But I think that's what they need. Sometimes the bats go cold, and that's what happens when you're playing against good pitching, right? And let me tell you right now, spoiler alert, my show that'll drop next Monday is not going to be any cakewalk. I already preluded to it a little bit. They're playing the number 1 team in the AL East. They're playing the number 1 team in the NL Central, hosting them, and then it's terrible right now. I think they got a bad break after the break.
Well, I mean, okay, so you talk AL Central, you're playing the Cleveland Guardians, and they're 45-45.
Yeah.
They're a 500 team.
Well, they're still number 1.
They've won 6 of the last 10.
You got to host Tampa Bay, you got to host Cleveland, and then you got to host the Dodgers.
And Tampa's just as bad off as you guys are going into the break. You guys are both 3-7 in your last 10.
They had a tough run as well.
Now, they did win their last game, and you guys have lost your last 2.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just tough, But like I said, I think the break it's well needed. I think these guys are going to get some rest, but also they had a little bit of fun. Playing baseball while you're having fun, it's different.
Shouldn't you always have fun? It's a game.
Well, you should, but you're out there grinding. It's 162 games, it's a long season. But yeah, no, I think they absolutely need it. And I enjoyed watching the home run derby. I enjoyed watching the All-Star game. Had a lot of fun watching, and I was like, "Oh man, look at those Rangers! Have you ever seen that many Rangers out there?" And the answer is no. You have never seen that many Rangers on the field at once in the All-Star game.
And they are past the halfway point as far as games played.
Yeah.
The Rangers have played 91 games so far this season of 162. So, and they did just finish a grueling 17 games straight. And I think that's kind of where that whole having all your best players playing the All-Star break kind of hurts you a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Now, they did play like 30 out of 31 days again, like I think in late through May and also June or something like that. There was some crazy stretch. There's just too many games. Yeah. And I've said it a million times, there's no reason to have this many games. They start cutting back. Cut back 20 games. I think cutting back 20 games and having it the same amount of time could help out a lot. But everybody, and especially now with the game, the pitch clock, all the new rules implemented, shorter games, they're not out there as long, so it might be helping them as well.
They should be able to play 162 then.
No. Well,
all the arguments you're making are to keep.
Well, I'm saying now since they've changed it, then yeah, I think it's okay. But even if they, everybody want more baseball now because now the games are all shorter and things like that. But I've really enjoyed this season. I know you have too. As far as
it's been a good season to get in on baseball. It really has been with the games being shorter, with the things some of these players are doing, which we'll get into a few of these players here in a second. Let's move on to our next story. Yeah. We're gonna stay within your.
Let's just say this: the game. I'm so glad that we have the MLB TV.
So at the end of the day, Rangers are holding on.
I hope they make it to the postseason. I hope.
So you don't think they're going to hold on and win the division?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's the question.
They got a tough division.
I need an answer.
Give me no.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they finished second.
Take that jersey off.
They finished second in the division, probably within 3 to 5 games back on the Astros.
Okay. All
right. Unless they right the ship and their pitching gets better, things like that. Like I said, bringing in Chapman definitely helped. Yeah. But you got to think about your mid relievers, and I
think you need to bring another bat in.
Another bat, huh?
Here's the big thing:
high power ranking teams.
Yeah, but during this streak where they've been struggling with runners in scoring position. They're still getting the hits and everything. They're just not putting the runners across the plate like they were.
I think they're 0 and 34 at this point, being down going into the 9th inning. They haven't come back yet.
Which is not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Not good.
Because you're going to be losing games in the postseason. Yeah. You got to be able to come back in the 9th inning at least once or twice.
They don't get shut out very often, but they at least put 2 or 3 runs on. But their pitching that they have out there going, some of them are not straight up aces. So then you have to put 5 runs up. You got to put 6. And so, I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a problem.
So let's move on to the next. We're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the unicorn. Can
I go put my Reds jersey on?
No. We're not talking Run DLC right now. We're talking about arguably the best player ever to play baseball.
Oh, wow.
Shohei Ohtani.
Oof.
This guy is leading the Angels in every category, batting and pitching.
Did you catch any of the All-Star game?
I caught a little bit.
They're trying to recruit, these players are on the field recruiting him actively. Like Seattle.
The whole Seattle, when he came with the bat, they're like, chanting, come to Seattle.
Seattle's chanting, come here. Their players are, hey.
And Ohtani said he spent a couple off seasons in Seattle. He loves Seattle.
Yeah.
But here's my question with Ohtani.
The Giants, all of them are out there talking to him. All the West Coast teams.
The Angels, they were within a couple of games of the Rangers not that long ago, but then they've gotten a ton of injuries.
Terrible.
Trout's going to be out for a while. You got a few other players out for a while. They're now 7 games back. They're 1 game under 500. This is Ohtani's last year on contract. Are they going to trade? Are they going to be the team to trade Ohtani?
I bet they want to try to hold on to him at all costs, but I think if they miss the playoffs, it's going to be one of those things where he's like, I'm out of here. And I'm going to play. He's not going to go any further east. Spoiler alert to everybody that's here. Most Japanese players stay on the West Coast because it's closer to, obviously, Japan, right? They can get home easier, things like that. The trip to to Asia and everything like that. Even if they're like Asian players,
but
it's easier for them to
go. It's going to be who's going to pay him. You know who could pay him?
He's not coming any further east. Guarantee it.
You don't think he's going to follow in the footsteps of like Hideki Matsui?
No.
Chan-Ho Park playing a little New York?
No.
Because they will pay him close to $1 billion.
I think
they will pay. That's the team that can pay him the most.
Let me say this. If he gets a contract that's close to $1 billion for like 10 years or something crazy like that, he would absolutely consider it, because you'd be crazy if you wouldn't. But I think he's going to be just like any of the other players that's from over there. They're just going to, I want to be closer to home, right? It's like a 6 or 7 hour flight. If you start going further east, it just starts compiling. You can't go home as much. You can't.
But you also got to factor in the Yankees. Right, and I think that's the exception to the rule, right? You're not saying he's going to Baltimore, okay? Because he's not going to Baltimore.
Baltimore's
Baltimore's
running away.
Baltimore's been
you watch your mouth,
the
sir.
last 162 games. Baltimore's one of the best teams in MLB.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying he's not going to Baltimore. He's not going to Cleveland. He's not going to Toronto. Boston. It's New York.
I'll be honest.
But that's not the question. The question is, do you think the Angels are going to trade him?
I think so. I think they're going to trade both.
I think you have to.
I think they're going to trade him and Trout.
Because you've had Trout for X number of years, and you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
You've got Trout and Ohtani, you haven't done anything.
Let me say this,
Teams are going to back up the truck.
I do want to say this, though, real quick.
For those guys.
I want to say, when you mentioned the Yankees and things like that, I could see him in pinstripes. I really could.
Yeah.
And especially for that dollar amount, it'd be crazy not to do it.
I could see him taking less money to go to New York versus some other teams, because you will be a contender every year. And that's the big thing. Like, you heard him talk about it during the World Baseball Classic, where he's talking about how much fun it was to play meaningful baseball, because he hasn't played meaningful baseball here in MLB.
He's one of those guys, right? It's meaningful. Everything's deliberate. Everything is he brings a different feel to the ballpark. He has a whole different demeanor than these guys. You
could see him go to the Dodgers too, though.
That's what I'm saying. I think he stay on the West Coast. I think it's a shoo-in. But to be honest with you, I think the Angels are unloading Ohtani and they're unloading Trout. They're both gone.
You have to, so that you get something,
and you get tons. Like, think about all the money, or all the picks and things like that.
You're going to get the top 5 prospects from a team.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to be set. It's going to make this could actually build your franchise.
Set your franchise up.
This could build your franchise going forward. And instead of having 2 superstars, that you've had to you got to pay for, and the bankroll gets higher and higher.
I actually think you can fast track, because if you trade them both, Ohtani and Trout, you're going to get probably pretty close to 5 of the top 30 prospects in baseball. From 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be getting some really good prospects and guys that you can bring up here in the next year or two. That's really going to help speed things along.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think so. If I was the Angels, that's what I would do.
While you don't want to be the team that traded Ohtani,
yeah,
you don't want to be the team that had him and he got away and you got nothing for it.
Right.
Right. And I think it's more of the look. There's no, unless he's telling you, hey, I'm going to resign. Okay, let's do it right now. There's pen and paper. Let's knock this out.
Yeah.
We'll back the truck up for you because you're Ohtani. But unless he's saying I'll sign a new contract right now, I think you got to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't take that chance not to get anything.
Yeah. Why not? Like, what do you know what I mean? You're not doing anything to help the situation out there anyways.
And again,
you're not even 500 right now. And of course, there's a ton of injuries. We get it. Ton of injuries. But he's getting a little older. Trout's getting older. And you get a ton.
Well, Ohtani's still young.
29, 28, 28, 29, something like that.
So he's definitely under 30.
Yeah, he's 28 or 29, but he's pitches and hits, which is like he's just a beautiful unicorn.
It's just,
and it's like, dude, you can get everything under the sun for this guy. You know what I mean? And you can make a whole damn team, a whole great team.
He's 29
by what you get for him and Trout.
He just turned 29 this month.
Yeah. Give me the trade. Do something, because if not, you're gonna lose him. You won't be able to re-sign him.
Yep.
You don't have the capital to do it, I don't think.
And we got one more story out of the AL West.
Okay.
The AL West / AL Central.
Okay.
Who is going to be the worst team in baseball this year?
Oh, it's the Mariners.
I'm sorry.
No. What's the other team out there? Oakland Athletics.
Let me give you your options real quick.
I'm already telling you.
Is it going to be the Oakland A's or the Kansas City Royals?
Royals are putting a run on the A's right now.
So right now, the A's are 25-67.
Mm-hmm.
The Royals are 26-65.
Just getting worse every year or every second.
Now, I will make this argument for the Royals. The A's are negative 248 in run differential, while the Royals are negative 151.
Yeah, no, I seriously still think it's going to be the Athletics.
Because you've got the Athletics who have scored 329 runs versus 337 runs for the Royals. So
yeah, give me the Athletics because the Royals aren't like just the Athletics are done. They're going to Vegas, right? They don't care. Their fan base doesn't care. They had reverse bans or something like that.
They were trying to get. They had the reverse ban, the reverse boycott.
Yeah.
They were trying to get the chant going yesterday at the All-Star game. You had A's fans passing out the sell the A's chants and going on and things like that. So you think the A's are, while Kansas City has made a strong push.
Yeah.
And the A's have made a strong push. You think it's going to be the A's at the end of the season will be the worst team versus the Royals?
I do. I really do. Because I think the Athletics have to play better teams too. So if you look at the divisions, the AL Central is a much more even kill. Just kind of like the lead team is 500, right? In the AL West, you have the Rangers, the Astros, and the Mariners. Those teams, and then obviously the Angels. If they ever get healthy, you can just go after
the Angels are only one game back of the Mariners.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. So you got two teams that are really close to 500. One's 506, the other one's 495, the Angels. But when you look at the AL Central, there's no good teams. There's the leading the pack is a 500 team.
You've got some good teams, but I think you've got a lot in the AL Central, being a guy who watches a lot of AL Central baseball, of teams battling each other and beating up on each other.
So they're all kind of squaring off against one another.
Right, right. I think you got a little bit of that.
I think you got good teams in the AL West and just beating the F out of the Athletics. So, and it doesn't help that they don't care.
Everybody's teeing off on the Athletics.
Athletics are 27.5 games back. I totally see them just floundering and just going off to Vegas.
All right.
Riding off in the sunset.
All right. I got two stories left for you.
All right, let's
One,
shake it.
Luis Ariza.
Yeah,
is he going to hit 400?
Nah.
He's currently at 383. I did catch probably about like 5 minutes of the All-Star game yesterday, and is when he came up the bat and he got that RBI.
Yeah.
And right off the first pitch, but like as he comes up the bat, they flash the stat that he leads MLB on batting average with runners in scoring position. Do you know he's hitting with runners in scoring position?
750 or something like that.
462. 462.
I just wanted to go. I wanted to go absurd, like 750.
But he's hitting 462 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
And then last night in the All-Star game, first pitch, he just rips one over there to right field. But he's hitting 383 right now.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it. And I think it's just a long season. And to answer your question quickly, it's a long season. And he's already kind of going. You can see he's regressing. And I'm not saying like, oh, it's terrible. He's going to hit 200, but he's going to hit somewhere around 350 by the time the season's over. He's seeing the ball. It looks like, most people see the golf balls out there. He's seeing, oranges or grapefruits being thrown at him. He's got a good look at the ball. He's placing the ball perfectly. He's a base hitter. He's got a good stroke. And like you said last night, All-Star game, it's a first pitch swinging. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Got a fastball. Because, you can pretty much predict most of these guys are going to throw fastballs straight out the gate. You know what I mean? Most of these pitchers are coming in just humming it.
Valdi was throwing some nasty stuff last night.
Dude, he had some stuff moving. And so I love that he was mic'd up. And we'll talk about that on Strikeout Beer as well. But for that, no, I think he's going to hit more about 350, maybe 375.
He's going to come down that much?
Yeah, I don't see him finishing out the rest of the season. It's July, so we have 3 more months. What is it? July to August, September. Yeah, about two and a half.
They've played 92 games.
Yeah, so you got 70 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him coming down a little bit.
That's.
I don't see him going up a little bit. I see him coming down a little bit.
Okay, but you're saying 350. That's a lot.
He's at 386 right now.
383.
Right? 383. That's not a lot.
I mean,
you get 4 or 5 at bats at night. Trust me, you can totally screw that up. I've seen you screw that up.
Well,
slow pitch softball. I've seen you screw that up.
Okay,
guy, give me some more.
All right, last story I got. The guy that he's the most electric player to watch right now.
Oh boy, yeah.
And by electric, I mean it's just you don't know what this guy's going to do. We just talked about him. He stole. He went from first to home, stole second, third, and home in 2 pitches. And I'm talking about Run DLC, Ellie De La Cruz, the guy that I wanted to buy one of his shirts, and they're sold out in the big boy size.
Oh boy,
you can't buy them in the big boy size right now. But how he's hitting like 302 or something like that. The kid is just he's fun. He's just fun to watch. Yeah. I love watching him play. Is he going to be your NL Rookie of the Year?
Nah, he started too late in the season. He came in too late. He's the crazy thing about this kid is he's 21 years old. He's 6'5", big old lanky kid from the Dominican Republic. You know, his average right now is 328. He's got 4 home runs.
He's at 328. Okay.
Yeah. Stolen bases at 16, and that number's just climbing. No, you got to give Rookie of the Year for at least the National League or something like that. It's going to be someone that's been in the league that long, or been playing. What's that kid's name out of Arizona?
That's
Colin,
the guy,
or whatever.
Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, he's the bad guy
He's
from
the
Fifth Element or something like that.
He's the odds-on favorite right now. He actually played in the All-Star game. His odds are negative 360 right now.
You had him mic'd up and Evaldi mic'd up, and he was pitching to him. It was great. It was freaking great.
And at number 2, you got De La Cruz, who's plus 280 right now. To me, I'm throwing some money down on that De La Cruz at the plus 280 because it's also a matter of the Reds are leading their division. The Reds have become a better team since De La Cruz has come up.
Yeah.
Right? And the kid is just...
If he keeps it going and he can keep with this crazy pace and this crazy electricity and things like that, yeah, I totally think he could do it.
And it's like you see it as he plays day in and day out and how he has the baseball smarts. He's not just talented. He understands the game of baseball.
He's got a high baseball IQ.
He knows how to play it. He has a high baseball IQ. Mm-hmm. And nothing shows it more than when he stole home.
Yeah.
Right? He steals third easily. Catches the pitcher and the catcher slacking off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he steals third without even a throw there.
Yeah. And that's why he walked. He had a walking lead at third,
and
because they're just like, well, he's not going to go anywhere else.
He's the thing is, you watch him, and he's watching the catcher, and he's watching the pitcher, mm-hmm. and he's even like walking. He's taking off his helmet, like he's not going to do anything, and he catches him with a back to it, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's what happens when you bring a kid into the majors. You know what I mean? Because he's playing like it's little league. You know what I mean?
He's just having fun.
Like I said, he's electric to watch. The kid is just he's changing baseball right now. And if you're able to watch, fire like we have MLB.TV, right?
I can watch him any day, every game. I can watch every game unless he's playing Texas or Houston.
Yeah. And then hopefully it's on a nationally televised game. But for me, he's absolutely electrifying. He's a must watch. Anytime he's on up to bat. If you have MLB.TV, it's on the big inning. And
the last player to come in the league that made me was excited about was Tatis.
Oh boy,
Tatis Jr. Because you remember when he came in, right?
He's just wild ass as hell too.
Just having fun, mm-hmm. playing the game at a high level, mm-hmm. and I loved it. Like when the other day when you had Cruz comes up and he's got that little knob at the end of the bat,
yeah,
and the coach comes in and questioning it and all that. And he struck out that at bat, but he comes up the next at bat and hits a 455-foot rocket out. Turns and looks at the dugout, points to the knob, flips the bat.
He's got a weird knob at the bottom of his bat.
He took a long time getting out of that box.
Yeah, and I guess when you're that big, I guess when you're that big too.
But it was also like you want to challenge me,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
I don't need the knob.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who I am. But I think a lot of the stuff he's getting away with because there's no tape, there's no film on him. But they should be watching it now because you're seeing everything this kid will do and everything he's capable of doing. He's super fast. He's challenging Tyreek Hill.
He was doing this in AAA.
He's challenging Tyreek Hill to a foot race. You know what I mean? The kid's
I would love to
fast.
See that race. He's got the fastest time recorded from home to third. Mm-hmm. In like 6 or 7 seasons at 10.85 seconds.
He's got a crazy stride. He rounds the bases great. He's got a great stroke. He's got an amazing arm and an amazing glove too. The guy's a full package.
He's got it all. He's a 5-tool player is what this kid is. And he hit a grounder to first base and beat it out.
Don't think we're playing. Go check him out. I know if you're watching this, you probably know who we're talking about because you're obviously listening and watching a baseball podcast, but he's worth every second of your time to watch.
He's so much fun.
Yeah,
I absolutely love him. Check him out. It's not going to be long before you're watching this podcast. And I got on my Reds shirt with my De La Cruz on the back.
Got to hit up Red Brad.
If not a jersey, it might be getting a little Reds jersey. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for listening. We can't wait for the rest of baseball season this year. What are some storylines you're keeping up with? Let us know. Shoot us an email at strikeuphere@gmail.com. As always, I'm Alan.
Rapid Dave.
Talk to you guys later. Deuces. Thank you for listening to Have You Seen My Baseball?